I live in a small, picturesque town named Havenbrook, a place where everyone knows everyone else, and the biggest news usually revolves around the weather or the annual town fair. That was until a series of bizarre and gruesome murders shattered the peace, leaving us all in a state of paralyzing fear. The first murder was discovered on a fog-shrouded morning in late autumn. Sarah Turner, a local schoolteacher known for her kindness and gentle demeanor, had been brutally slaughtered in her own home. The crime scene was a nightmarish tableau, one that would haunt our collective memories for years to come. The room was bathed in crimson, and the walls were splattered with blood. Sarah's lifeless body lay sprawled on the floor, her eyes wide open in a silent scream of terror. The murder weapon, a jagged shard of glass, was left embedded in her chest, a grotesque work of art in the macabre tableau. But what sent shivers down our spines was the eerie symbol etched onto the wall in her blood, a circle with a six-pointed star inside, each point ending in a sharp, jagged line that seemed to pierce the very fabric of reality. It was a symbol none of us had ever seen before, a chilling mark of malevolence. The town was gripped by a growing sense of unease as the news of the murder spread like wildfire. It was as if a dark shadow had descended upon Havenbrook, a shadow that threatened to consume us all. The once friendly streets now felt like avenues of dread, and the comfort of our own homes had become an illusion. The police launched an intensive investigation, but each new murder only deepened the mystery. The victims had no apparent connections, different ages, professions, and backgrounds. The only common thread was the presence of the eerie symbol at each crime scene, a sinister signature that taunted both the authorities and the town's residents. As the weeks turned into months, the town lived in a perpetual state of fear. We locked our doors and windows, installed security systems, and avoided going out after dark. But the killer seemed to be one step ahead, striking when least expected, leaving us feeling helpless and vulnerable. The town's once thriving sense of community had disintegrated into suspicion and paranoia. Neighbors eyed each other with mistrust, and friendships dissolved as the fear of betrayal hung in the air. We were all united by one thing, the desperate need to unmask the killer and put an end to the reign of terror. I couldn't stand by idly, knowing that the lives of my friends and neighbors were at stake. I began to dig deeper into the history of Havenbrook, searching for any clue or connection that might lead us to the killer. My investigation led me to a dusty old library where I stumbled upon a forgotten tome, a book of local legends and folklore. As I pored over the pages, I came across a passage that sent a shiver down my spine. It spoke of an ancient cult that had once thrived in Havenbrook, a group that had worshipped a malevolent deity known as the Void. The cult had been driven underground, its members hunted down and persecuted, but its legacy lived on in the form of a sinister symbol, a circle with a six-pointed star inside. The pieces of the puzzle began to fall into place. The symbol left at each crime scene was a direct link to the cult, a chilling reminder of a dark and twisted belief system. But who among us could be capable of such atrocities? Who could have resurrected the cult and unleashed its horrors upon our town? Armed with this newfound knowledge, I approached the police with my findings, hoping to assist in their investigation. But it seemed that the darkness had infiltrated even the ranks of law enforcement. The police were reluctant to pursue the cult angle, dismissing it as mere superstition and folklore. Undeterred, I joined forces with a group of like-minded individuals who were equally determined to unmask the killer. Together, we delved deeper into the town's history, searching for any traces of the cult's existence and its members. Our investigation led us to a hidden chamber beneath the town's old church, a place that had once served as the cult's secret meeting place. The chamber was filled with ancient texts, relics, and the remains of those who had fallen victim to the cult's dark rituals. Among the artifacts, we found a diary, a chilling account written by one of the cult's leaders. It spoke of a plan to resurrect the Void, to offer up a series of sacrifices to appease the malevolent deity and grant its followers untold power. We had uncovered the cult's dark purpose, but the diary offered no clues as to the identity of its current members. As we continued our investigation, the killings continued, each one more gruesome than the last. Desperation set in as the town teetered on the brink of collapse. We had to put an end to the reign of terror, to unmask the killer hiding in plain sight among us. But time was running out, and the void grew stronger with each sacrifice. In a final, desperate gambit, we organized a town-wide gathering, a ruse to draw out the killer and expose their true identity. As the townspeople gathered in the town square, we watched and waited, our hearts pounding with a mixture of fear and determination. And then, as the clock struck midnight, the killer emerged from the shadows, a figure dressed in a tattered, blood-stained robe. Their eyes were cold and devoid of humanity as they raised a dagger high above their head, ready to claim their next victim. But we were ready. As the killer lunged forward, we descended upon them, overpowering them and wresting the dagger from their grasp. As we unmasked the killer, the townspeople gasped in disbelief. It was someone we had trusted, someone who had hidden their malevolent nature behind a facade of normalcy. The killer was taken into custody, and the reign of terror came to an end. As we looked upon the face of evil, we couldn't help but wonder how such darkness had taken hold in our quiet town. In the aftermath, Havenbrook slowly began to heal. The sense of community that had been shattered by fear and suspicion began to rebuild, and we vowed to remain vigilant, to ensure that the void would never again cast its shadow over our town. But the scars of that dark time still lingered, a haunting reminder that evil could lurk in the most unexpected of places, that the symbols of malevolence could be etched not only in blood but in the very heart of our community.